Hello and welcome to Pony 411. This is episode 293 for the month of July. I am Alca7raz and joining me as usual is Nemesis.
Yoha.
That's a new one. This past month has been eventful.
Yeah.
Not always in good ways. Mostly not in good ways. 2020 is still being
2020.
Yeah. It's still not great.
The simulation is breaking down.
Oh, jeez. Yes. Get ourselves a VR so we can put a simulation on top of our simulation. Forget about the horrors that we have to deal with.
I'm going to put on these nightmare vision goggles. Everything looks the same.
Everything looks the same. Yeah, this has definitely been quite the month. Pride was cancelled. We get Wrath instead.
Yeah.
But we're I guess still hanging in there.
For now.
So yes, we do have another episode for you this month. We've got a fair amount of news to talk about, because like I said, things have been eventful. And, well, as some of you probably are already aware of, Pony Life has begun. So we will definitely be talking about that. Lots of stuff around that one. Guess we can just jump into the news, unless you got anything else you want to jump into first?
Not really.
Alright, so let's jump in the news. If you'd like to follow along, and I do highly recommend you do, there's a lot of extra information in the links in there. You can go to pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. Remember, that's spelled Libsyn. So go there, click the link for this episode, and let's get into this. In convention news, Sea Bronies Expedition 5 has been cancelled. They do hope to return in 2022, but there is no guarantee. 2021 it's right out. There's no way that they could actually schedule one time. You have to schedule those out even further, and with everything that's been going on, that's just out of the question.
It's not happening.
And 2022 is in the air, so no guarantee on if that one's coming back. Alca7raz, the one in Australia, has also been cancelled for this year. Sort of. Next year's, they're going to try and come back. The dates for that will be announced after October 4th, which is when this year's is supposed to happen. In its place, they have set up a sort of hybrid in-person online one-day event thing. It's interesting. There are links in the show notes that you should be reading. Find those to get more information. And speaking of Alca7raz, some negative things. The chair, Typhoon Seed, has been accused of racism. Apparently, it was requested to do something they should do, a acknowledgement of country.
Yeah.
It's a respect thing for the indigenous peoples of Australia, and apparently Typhoon said no, in really bad ways. However, resolutions are being attempted to be made. There is discussions going on, so hopefully we can get this resolved, but as of recording, none has been made. No resolutions have happened.
Yeah.
So keep your ear open on that one. Hopefully things are resolved in a good way. On to more stuff. Everfree Northwest has been cancelled as well.
I called it.
This. Yeah, we predicted. I think a lot of people knew and were expecting, but there is a lot of stuff that has to go on before they can officially announce that. Announcing it too early could actually, I think, impede contracts as well.
Yeah, it could cost them a lot money too.
Yeah, if they even mention that they might be, it can be used against them when trying to discuss contracts.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. They have to pretty much pretend that they're going full steam ahead until basically they legally cannot.
Yeah, or else you could probably pull something in the contract. You made this happen, so you don't get out of this contract, kind of a thing. But it is cancelled officially. They will be returning next year.
Yep.
They'll be attempting it again. The new dates is about the same, but adjusted for when the weekend lands. It is August 13th through 15th, 2021. You can roll over. I think that window is still open.
Yeah.
There's a window on when you can choose to roll over your existing registration and hotels. If you register the hotel with the convention through them, you could have them rolled over automatically for next year.
Yep.
Otherwise, you have to work some things out. You can also request a refund, or you can just donate it. Basically, let them keep the money, but you don't get a new badge, but you can. It is a tax deductible thing, if I remember correctly. So you can do that if you want as well.
Yeah, by default, your badge will roll over to next year.
Yep, if you do nothing, it will roll over. TrotCon Online has a few guest announcements. Last month, they have announced Peter New, Ellie Ray, Katrina Salisbury, Cole Howard, and Brian Doe.
Yep.
Bunch of announcements. Turns out it's a lot easier to get people to help you when you're online.
Well, yeah, they don't have to travel or anything.
Yep. So I still have to. I think there might still be an appearance fee.
Probably.
Might be less because it's only online, but you don't have to pay for travel.
Yep.
Or accommodations.
Yep, because everyone's just stuck at home.
Yep. Into fandom news. Legends of Equestria has a new update. Haven't heard an update from them in a while, and there is a handful of features and bug fixes included.
Mm-hmm.
New talents added, new areas added, stuff like that.
Balance adjustment.
If you play that, go check it out.
If you haven't already.
Yeah, if you haven't already. In tangential pony fandom news, or pony adjacent, Main 6, creators of them's Fighting Herds, has pulled out of EVO Online, as well as everyone else, and then EVO Online has cancelled.
Yes.
Yeah, things happened in EVO Online, not good things.
A lot of things happen in the fighting game community in general, like holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Whole bunch of stuff. And this is like super barely tangent related to Pony at all, but it does affect Main 6, which is close enough, so we'll just quickly mention that. A bunch of people high up in fighting game community turned out to be really bad people.
Yeah, it's the allegations of abuse, assault, pedophilia. It's a big list of things that are going on. Basically, one person started saying stuff, and then the dam broke, and including one of the heads of EVO, Joey Kohler. I think that's pronounced. Yep. I think it's known as Mr. Wizard.
Yeah, and that was the big one on the EVO particularly.
Mm-hmm.
When that one came out, a whole bunch of the companies and stuff with the games started saying, no, we don't want to be involved, and they started pulling their games and stuff, including Main 6.
Yep.
And then EVO went, yeah, no, we're not having this year. We're canceling.
Yeah.
Probably because, how many games were left?
I think there's like 3.
Yeah. It was like nothing left of EVO Online
new
anyway.
CEO, ex-CEO, they're going to adjust some stuff, hopefully, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. And last bit of fandom news, and this is a big one. This entire thing is like the picture of the person tipping over the little domino that leads to a big domino.
Yeah.
Not quite that level of scale, but pretty similar. The Atlantic did an article about Nazis in the pony fandom.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Had a whole bunch of interviews with various fandom members as well in there and talked about, the problems.
Notably Wootmaster.
Yes. Notably Wootmaster. That's what happens when you are vocal about the problems. You become a point of contact for other people wanting to talk about the problems.
Yep.
So, yeah. This has spawned a number of things.
Largely Derpy Bro related.
That's the biggest and latest one. Funny enough, there was actually another article that was supposed to be like a response to this.
Yeah, saying the problem is more really, with...
They focus more on the NSFW side, which is...
That's a whole different thing.
Very different thing.
It's like, yeah.
The NSFW side is a whole different problem, but also not problem, but also
it's not really a problem people make it out to be because they just want to get rid of stuff they don't like. But others,
there are problems involving NSFW stuff in the fandom, but they're not the ones a lot of people want to talk about.
Yeah.
The mere existence is not a problem, but the fact that a lot of people don't tag it and just kind of throw it out there, that is a problem. And some of the full con is a major problem.
Yeah,
there are things there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you mentioned, the biggest and latest problem with the Nazi thing is Derpy Baru. So for a long time, Derpy Baru has always held this stance as we archive everything, doesn't really matter about what it is. Yeah, if you don't like it, you can filter it. We're not going to remove it. this is a problem because it allows stuff like Nazis to build and fester, and yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
It's a libertarian tech bro fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically the way it is. Like, I understand wanting to be an archivist. I have a bit of that myself, but not Nazis.
Yeah.
And other similar racist things. So, Derpy Bureau finally did something about it.
Yeah.
In the light of a whole bunch of really blatant racist crap getting posted involving the protests. Yeah, the Black Lives Matter protest. That caused a whole stir. Derpy Bureau finally did something about it. It was like bare minimum that they could do, but they finally did something about it. This made the racists all really angry and started griping.
Mm-hmm.
And then Derpy Bureau went back on their change and basically sided with the racists.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. That was not the only change. They changed that thing, and they say that was going to be a temporary measure, and then they further expanded the rules on Derpy Brew, particularly Rule 0 in there.
Rule 0, the be excellent to each other.
Which they basically said, they added a bunch of clarification about no homophobia, racism, all this stuff, and then people got upset about it because like it's suddenly this stuff, like a bunch of stuff is, I think a bunch of images were being deleted too, newer images, so they're getting deleted because they broke the rules.
Like the old images that broke the rules they were keeping, but they would not allow newer ones to be posted. Yeah,
people got upset about that.
Yep, and frozen peaches were thrown.
And then Derpy Brew then reversed it. People got upset about it, and then some artists were like, well, I'm just not going to post my art here anymore. And then, so they reversed it. And then when they reversed it and said they're going to allow it all,
then everyone else got upset.
Yeah, everyone else got upset even louder, and even way more artists said, okay, I'm not going to allow my art to be posted here anymore.
So, yes, and the latest is that Derpy Brew has, I guess, sort of...
And then Derpy Brew reversed again.
Reversing. Except it's like, they did, but it was like... It's in a point where I'm not entirely certain how strong they're holding on to their newest reversal.
Okay, so their whole thing now is no spreading of hateful ideologies, which they're basically kind of more or less their stance is this is more or less a clarification of the old rule set.
Right.
And the weird thing is they kind of try to do a bit of appeasement by also including communism under hateful ideology, which is like, that's
because it was a common argument when they said no Nazi stuff. They said, oh, well, people tried to point the both sidesism thing, and so, well, if you're going to ban that, then you also have to ban the communism. But they use stuff like Stalinism as the example of communism that you can't to ban. And it's like, Stalin did some horrible things.
Yeah.
And if you start glorifying that, then okay.
Yeah, because it's funny because it also mentions Stalinism, then also communism.
Yeah, which is like...
Yeah, basically, the idea is the defense that I saw was throwing out was, it's always the, well, if you're going to ban Nazi stuff, you should ban communism because it's basically the same thing or whatever. It's like, it's equivalent. It's like, it's really not.
False equivalence. Yeah, a whole bunch of false equivalence, and like, alongside of all their talk about censorship and free speech, it's like,
this is censorship because
to a private organization,
all because they just want to see a Nazi pony.
Yep, because they want to be racist and quote unquote joke.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's Nazis. The thing is like, I would argue that pretty much almost every bit of Nazi content on Derpy Brew, other than the ones that are specifically criticizing Nazism or and whatnot, are inherently promoting a hateful ideology just by their sheer existence.
Yeah, because you're basically saying that everyone who has that ideology is welcome there. Even if the artist didn't, quote unquote, intend for that, that's what you're doing. You're
normalizing it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I think that's where I think that's kind of where a lot of the breakdown is. A lot of people who are defending that content staying don't believe that. They don't really buy that initial thing of its mere existence is more or less normalizing / promoting it and whatnot. They don't want to buy that initial point, so everything else falls apart in their head.
And I would say that Now, I guess this is a uneducated opinion on it, but I think that may come from a point of privilege.
Yeah.
They have never actually had to see or deal with the consequences of the normalization, so they can easily just say it doesn't exist.
Or they're so steeped into themselves they don't recognize it.
Yeah. But again, that's also can come from a point of privilege.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with the consequences. You don't actually see it. You don't see the negatives that are actually happening.
Yeah.
And that's a point of privilege.
It's a well-documented thing of a lot of people who believe in these ideologies. They know that just openly expressing them. We actually talked about this stuff a couple months ago.
Yeah, we did when we talked about the whole
when
thing.
they believe these things, they know they can't openly express them because they'll get kicked out of whatever community they're expressing it on. So they have to be subtle about it, and they introduce it through, well, it's just a joke or whatever. And then once it's normalized enough, they start pushing it further and pushing it further and pushing it further until the next. And yeah, it's often that's what happens is people just start, spreading it just as a joke. It's ironic. I'm just being edgy, and eventually it stops being ironic.
Yeah, and then you start getting yes, Nazis were bad, but in a couple places Hitler actually had some good ideas.
Yeah. You gotta give Hitler one thing. He did kill Hitler. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think there was actually an Aryan pony post related to that. It was like
the Aryan
yeah. I heard people talking about it.
Yeah, I heard about that one. The one where she's follow your leader holding a gun to her head.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's like
that is kind of a criticism.
It is, but it's also telling people it's making a joke of people killing themselves. So I wouldn't go that far.
Because also that's the other thing. I think that, and getting into this is actually a whole nother discussion, which I don't want to get super into. But just the idea is possibly stuff like Mel Brooks and whatnot inadvertently created this atmosphere where we made fun of Nazis so much people don't really. When we do see actual Nazism pop up, we don't take it seriously because their whole thing was, let's make it so ridiculous that no one ever takes Nazism seriously again. No one ever seriously follows that. But the problem is it kind of backfired in a way. Now the people, when it actually happens, they don't really see it as a serious threat.
Yep. Road to hell is paved with good intentions.
So it's funny to make fun of them, but we kind of, in the process, a bunch of people who were much younger, who didn't really have any experience with World War II or any of that, grew up and didn't really have the full context, and now they just see Nazism as a dead ideology that they can make fun of. They can be ironically promoted without any real consequence, not really thinking about it, and that there's only a handful like skinheads or whatever out there. Who cares? And that's this whole thing about racism in general, which is like a lot of us white people were taught that racism is essentially over, and that anyone who espouses racism now it's a fringe of society. It's not really relevant, so we don't really think about it.
Didn't Martin Luther have that speech? Didn't that just cure racism forever in America?
That's kind of leads into that sort of thing.
Yep. Again, that's privilege. We never have to see it, especially as white people. We don't have to deal with racism. We're white. Yep. So, of course, we don't think it's real. It doesn't affect us.
Yep. And it's really hard to get people to acknowledge it because of that. It's really hard to get people to divorce themselves from their experience.
Yep. Yeah. If you're gonna criticize something, it has to be. People have to know it's criticism.
Yeah.
What was that law that's called about that when you can't tell if it's. Is that Poe's law?
Might be Poe's law.
Can't tell if something's parody or not anymore.
Oh yeah. The other thing is the whole just filter it out if you don't like it thing. I feel that kind of breaks down at a certain point because it makes sense. Like I, for example, always filtered out like flashlight. I don't like it, so filtered out. Why?
I don't want to see it. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's a basic thing. And I remember people always point out, well, Nazi tag is always filtered by default, and it is now. It didn't used to be. I know for a fact I had to manually add that tag to my filter.
Yeah,
because it didn't used to be.
I remember because I got sick and tired of seeing Aryan all the time.
Yeah.
I had to go and filter those out because it wasn't there.
That used to not be the case. That's one thing.
But even then, filtering it doesn't fix the problem of it festering.
Yeah, and the thing is, people point out, well, this stuff, well, not all of it's hateful. Okay, assuming, let's just buy into the idea that, it's not inherently hateful just because it exists, right? Let's just go along with that for a second. They're saying, well, the stuff that exists isn't actually promoting it. So this one right here, she's saying an anti-Semitic slur and saying to, gas Jewish people. And it's like, that's pretty hateful. And it exists on Dripper Brew.
Hateful.
And
And
Well, it's like,
allowed.
well, no one reported it. Yeah, because the people who would report it filtered out the tag. People
Yeah.
who don't filter out the tag aren't going to report it because they find that funny.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it breaks down.
Yeah, just telling people to filter it and still allowing it to exist allows people like that to use it as a platform for their hate.
Again, that whole thing we talked about a couple months ago, paradox and tolerance, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We probably should check out that episode. It was what, 290 or something? I don't remember. It was 280
Something like
yeah,
that.
It was a while ago.
Last month has been a really long year, so
several months ago now. But yeah. So the filtering thing, it just what happens there is the people. So stuff gets through that is very hateful because the people who would report it don't because they never see it. And so it just exists, and then the people who do see it are laughing about it and stuff, and probably moderators probably don't want to see it either, so who knows? I'm not sure how that moderation team works there.
Speaking of moderation team, apparently there was also a staff change-up right about when this happened too. So,
and that was the other thing, was I was seeing a lot of miscommunication, a lot of staff members like, I was never told about this, what the hell's going on, and all of that stuff was going on. It's just such a mess, and like multiple administrators fighting with each other. Like one administrator
Blossom
said
Forth
one
and
thing,
Raptor Shy.
Day later,
Raptor
another.
Shy,
yeah,
Raptor Shy made the announcement that they were removing the restrictions and basically making everything allowable again, and then Blossom Forth made the announcement, no, we're not doing that again, we're reverting that reversion.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, like one of them pointed out, the number of people who asked for do not post on their artwork was significantly higher, saying, I don't want to post it where Nazis are posting. People are posting and doing a do not post in protest of the quote unquote censorship. That was kind of small comparison.
Yep.
So that kind of tells you. I think that's what someone pointed out. They just the thing is, this is all on the forums in Derpy Brew. If you were on the main, just never went to the forums, you might never noticed.
Yeah, until now when things start getting posted.
Yeah,
people have been posting pictures related to it.
Yeah. The thing is, people are like, oh, only the community, because most of the large chunk of the Derpy Brew, I guess, community doesn't even use the forum. I don't ever use it. I have an account and everything. I use Derpy Brew all the time.
Yeah.
And like,
but
the only reason I've been looking at the forums now is because of this.
Yeah, I've never really browsed through the forums. I'm not a huge fan of how the forum is structured there anyway. But yeah, the only time I ever really look at it was when, people are saying that stuff is happening and I want to go see what the hell's going on.
Yeah. So it's this weird thing of like, they just listen to these people who they assumed that, oh, hey, when they remove Nazi things and people who are, I guess, kind of believe that ideology or just think it's not a big deal, they just went, oh, I guess we were wrong. And then, whoa, hold up. They're not the majority after all. Shocker.
Go figure the silent majority.
Yeah, and I also find it funny that these people were some of these people who were supportive of the do not post when it came to protesting censorship suddenly were upset that people were using the same tactics against them. It's like, hey, you can't do that. Yeah.
I love how quickly double standards show up.
Yeah, if I understand, it's like the backlog for that do not post thing is now weeks long. It got so bad. It got so extreme. We'll see how that pans out, I guess, in Derpy Brew. But yeah, this is part of the problem. Was simply we left this alone for so long, for years. We just didn't really talk about it or acknowledge it or address it in any way. Now where they finally are, it's going to be a difficult and painful process.
Yep.
We're even seeing people who we thought were cool, kind of like supportive of Nazi content staying because they think it's funny and like it's censorship if you remove it. And it's like, we should have addressed this years ago. Years ago, we should have addressed this, and we never did. Yep. And so now it's like, ugh.
I heard there was actually talks from the original, the racist, when the first rule was made, when they're all upset that they were going to make basically a Nazi art pack just to spite them.
Of course. Oh yeah, I heard something. Yeah, I heard something about trying to do that and then donate the proceeds to some
and then just out of spite to donate it to some like Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, it's like that's messed up. That's the thing like, 4chan does is just weaponize charity.
Yeah, because it was a 4chan a 4chan thing.
Nice.
It's like, on one hand, it would be absolutely horrible if it happened. On another hand, it would make a very easy list of people to ban.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Was like, oh look, all these
you
people
contributed art to that?
Yep.
You're gone.
People. Oh, the other thing was people on Twitter are just coming in here. They're all gathering up and getting people over here so they can, do not posts and coming here to protest this. And then not talking about the fact 4chan was kind of doing the same thing.
Brew, just before this happened, when they were talking about the Black Lives Matter images and the mass downvoting that was going on in any of the pro Black Lives Matter images, Derpy Brew even said, yes, we're getting a huge downvote chain from 4chan.
Yep.
They said that it was happening. And then it's like, how did you not realize that it's what's happening when you made the rule change? And they started complaining. It's what they do. It's what they're known for doing.
Yeah, it's going to be sucks. This is going to suck for a while because like a lot of artists I've enjoyed are kind of like, Jargon Scott's a big one I noticed.
Okay, yeah. Jargon's always kind of worried me.
Yeah.
Ever since the whole Twiggy thing and the zebras.
Yeah.
That was like, the ones that... So Jargon's always been kind of one I've kind of been standoffish. I haven't followed Jargon because of that. But some of the ones that do worry me are the ones that are connected to Jargon.
Yeah.
Like TJ Pones.
Yeah, TJ Pones is a little... I've been watching and it's like he hasn't done anything, said anything about it yet.
Haven't done anything directly, but...
I don't know.
Yeah. Fortunately, though, most of my Twitter feed is full of artists, and most of them have been, very much against racism.
Shock.
It's very comforting to see most of my timeline full of support, the good kind of support.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing. That was the other thing. Oh, it's not that big of a problem. Well, yeah, it probably technically, by all accounts, it probably isn't actually that huge of a problem by numbers. If you look at number of people, but if we're having this much of a fight against this, when we have to start addressing the bigger problems, boy, it's
one of the other things is it doesn't have to be that big of numbers. You don't have to have a majority of these problems in order to cause a major problem.
One Nazi is one Nazi too many.
Yes, and what's worse is when it's one Nazi on some outskirts and never going anywhere is not great. But it's even worse when it's one Nazi who's in an important place.
Yeah. And is being supported by people who are not Nazis, but they're willing to defend that Nazi.
One thing I want to know is why so many people in charge of community pillars, not even just pony related, as we're seeing with the fighting game community, why so many heads and leaders of major community pillars are just not great people.
Oh no.
Why is it like that? Why can't we get more, really stand-up people who are the leaders of community pillars?
I don't know. Another thing I saw, which is a funny thing, is it's weird how, it's something, everyone it was like, listen, you may not be a Nazi yourself, but it's kind of funny how every single time we start throwing bombs at Nazis, your windows rattle. You're kind of close there, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, any which way, it's hopefully Derper Brew can, get their crap together and get a
There are
handle
words
on
I
this.
want to say, euphemisms I want to make, but we are a PG channel. I can't say those words.
This is a Christian pony stream.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's too gay for that.
Way too gay for that. Although, if you really want to look into Christianity, and not what a whole bunch of the popular...
We're getting way off topic and we're wasting time,
we totally are. And we're not even done with all the news, so I guess we should move on. We do have more news to talk about. Merchandise news. New MLP coloring book-esque game has popped up on the Google Play Store. So it was paint by numbers, you tap the things. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a thing. Upcoming Cutie Mark Crew figures have been spotted online, and they have updated eye designs to bring them more into line with Pony Life.
No!
Yes, Pony Life.
No!
That's going to be popping up a lot the rest of this episode.
Applejack has her hat finally.
Yay! Yes, Applejack finally gets her hat. Symbiote Studios has picked up a license for pony merch. They make a variety of different things, including plushies.
But it's all going to be Pony Life in G5.
If they look good and they're high quality, whatever. Some people really aren't against Pony Life as much as some other people
We'll get into that.
We'll definitely get into that. The MLP Ghostbusters crossover figure, Plasmane, which we talked about a while ago, is now available for pre-order. And a limited edition Cute-pocalypse Pinkie Pie has been announced and is available for pre-order.
Yes.
This one has sparkly hair and show skin tones. So Pinkie Pie is pink.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's sparkly and somewhat semi-translucent.
Yeah, and somewhat translucent.
That's interesting. I would suspect they're going to probably do that for all of them, which makes me wonder now. Am I going to do this for Twilight? Am I going to have 4 instead of just 2?
Have to double your count. And in the last section of news, more stop-motion shorts have popped up.
I think it might be the final bit of them.
Yeah, possibly.
I haven't seen any in the last couple weeks.
Yeah. They're interesting, and like you said, they haven't popped up for a little while. I'm trying to remember them all.
Oh, there was one it was a race between racing, Fluttershy, Dash, and Twilight.
Oh yeah, it was like
Dash was showboating, and
yeah,
and
sort
Fluttershy
of a callback
won.
to Fall Weather Friends.
Fluttershy won.
Yeah, Fluttershy won because turtle in the hair.
Yep.
The other one was in the movie theater, and Rarity's hat screws things up.
Darn it, Rarity. Take your hat off when you're in the theater.
Yes, especially when you have a giant hat.
And then Twilight was going through books.
Twilight going through books.
Literally.
Celestia joins her. Yeah, literally. It's almost like Mist. A little bit different.
Where's the freaking pink page? That red page, where is it?
You want the red pages? Why not the blue page? No. Remember, the good ending is the white page. You have to find the white page, and you keep the other two trapped.
No, the good ending is you just don't even bother opening the book. Then you don't have to deal with any of this nonsense.
Yeah, because the whole game doesn't have any randomization. You just go straight to the end. If you can remember the laser pattern in the fireplace, you can just get there. It's a reference I bet a whole bunch of people listening won't understand. Anyway, another Hello Pinkie Pie short has also been released.
DJ Pone 3.
Oh yeah, this is the one with DJ Pone 3 that shows up, and
music happens.
Music happens because it's DJ Pone 3. And Pinkie's being weird.
As per usual.
Alright, so into some Pony Life, actual Pony Life news. A whole bunch of character promos have been released, one for each of them, along with a series of best of clips showing total spoilers.
Why even watch the show now? You got all the best stuff right here.
Exactly, they already showed you all the best things. So yeah, a whole bunch of the character promos got dropped except for Applejack's for like a week.
Oh, that was funny. It's just like everyone but Applejack.
It's like everyone but Applejack. It's like, yeah, it's par for the course. They did eventually upload Applejack's though.
Yeah, it was literally a week apart.
Yep.
Took them a while, but they did it.
Yep. And
Forever a background pony.
We got Forever a background pony. And we did finally get a whole bunch other episode titles and a couple synopses as well for the Pony Life stuff, because that is now a thing.
Yeah, they'll believe one of the. Yeah, some of these are going to be like, I believe by the time you hear this episode, will have aired. At least 2 of them. Yeah,
because we're recording. We're pretty sure we're going to get more episodes the day after, like tomorrow as of recording, that haven't aired yet, but will have aired by the time we release. And it's probably Bad Thing number 3 and Hyper Helper.
Yep.
I believe are going to be airing. Will probably be airing tomorrow. We won't be talking about them this episode because they haven't come out yet, but you can get the synopsis. Bad Thing number 3. Rarity tries to get rid of her bad luck before it can ruin her relationship with a new friend. As Rarity continues to deal with her bad luck, she receives some much-needed advice from an unexpected source. Herself. We already know who this friend is because of the clips.
Womp womp.
Because of the best of ones.
Yep.
Yes. And the other is Pinkie Pie Hyper Helper. Pinkie Pie struggles to help out her friends while preparing for the final round of the Royal Jelly Juggernaut. As Pinkie Pie enters the final round of the Royal Jelly Juggernaut, the other ponies rally behind her. That's a weird synopsis.
Yeah.
I think that's a typo in the synopsis. Those are the synopses for the 2 that are probably going to air tomorrow. We do have some other titles, though. We have The Trial Less Trotten, Death of a Sales Pony, Big Hoof Walking, The Fluttershy Effect, The Fast and the Furriest, Disappearing Act, The Master of Instructions, Mount Volcanope, A Camping We Will Go, Campfire Stories, Friendship Gems, and I'm probably going to screw up the pronunciation on this one. I think it's Dolphinale or Dolphinale. I don't know. One of the two. It looks like it's probably the rest of them for the, I guess, season of Pony Life. Some of those are really interesting titles.
Yeah. We never really knew exactly how long this was going to be.
Yeah, we never did. They've given us, like, no information. Oddly enough, this is also probably one of the first, not the first, because, you know, like the first season and whatnot, but one of the only seasons we're going to have, like, with no leaks.
Which is weird.
I know! It's been so long since we've had a leakless season of something.
Yep.
So, yes, those are what's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That is the news. That's everything. There was quite a bit, and there's one particular chunk where we talked a lot about it.
It was important.
A lot about it. It was very important.
Again.
So it deserved being talked about. So, on to actual discussion stuff. We're going to talk about something that we probably should have talked about a while ago, but I guess it completely spaced our minds.
Yep.
Because things are happening and we forget things. MLP Manga Volume 2 came out a while ago, and we have not talked about it.
Yep. Manga Volume 2, in which, let's see, Pinky gets caught in a time loop and then finds out somehow Doctor Who's is involved, and this time-traveling pony, what's her face? Stargazer?
The Space Pony.
Yeah,
The Space Pony.
And then also Doctor Who's rival, or, that's the whole thing, basically, as Pinky kind of warily goes through the time loops after realizing it is a time loop, and,
It's basically a combination of Groundhog Day and Doctor Who mashed into one, made with ponies. Done.
Yep.
I liked it, but I like Doctor Who. You don't.
I do not like Doctor Who that much, and I feel like they really didn't have to try to shoehorn him into this super hard like they did, but they did it anyway.
I think it's fine.
Noticed a lot. Yeah, I don't feel like it's a good idea to try to shoehorn something in like that in an official thing that's not explicitly considered a crossover. It's not explicitly announced as a crossover or anything, so it's like you're just trying to reference Doctor Who and like trying to get away with it. And it's like I don't know. I don't think they really needed Doctor Who. Who was it? I don't remember what his name was. Professor what? That's right. Yeah, they had to make a joke.
Yeah. Who? What? Where? When? Who's on first? What's on second? I'm surprised they didn't just call him. Well, it probably wouldn't be the greatest idea. Doctor Who's biggest rival is the Master.
Yeah, that's the thing. Stardancer calls him her master, so it's like
it could be that's your
they're
reference.
Pretty bluff reference. Then I would not have caught it if you didn't bring that up. So thanks for making it worse. It's
the Master is another Time Lord.
I mean,
I could go into that one.
The art's fine. A lot of the jokes are funny. I feel, and I've seen this, I guess, perspective a couple other places, which is kind of feels like they didn't have to go in this direction. It's kind of a weird thing to do, to go this direction with the Doctor Who stuff. But some of the individuals think they're funny. What shocked me was the reference to the French Revolution, where like, Pinky's about to be beheaded.
Oh, geez. Which page was that on?
102.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that was greenlit.
Yikes.
And also kind of a vague, I guess, sex joke right afterwards. This has never happened to me before.
I think they can get away with a lot more stuff in these.
I'm just surprised Hasbro allowed it, though,
Yeah. I guess the expected audience is higher.
A bit. Anyway, it's fine. But could have been better.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of the jokes are funny. I don't think the overall story is particularly great. It feels like it kind of drags after a while. After you get to a certain point, it really just kind of drag.
Yeah, I will, especially like in in both, I guess, sections. You have the looping section and then the Doctor
it kind of
Who
goes
section.
on a little too long.
Both of them are a little bit long.
I think the first one is better just because it kind of was broken up a little bit with more smaller stories.
Yeah, it was more of a slice of life, like a anthology slice of life thing.
Yeah, so I feel like this could have been better.
Could have been better, but I still liked it. But I like Doctor Who. I don't mind the reference.
Not bad. Not great.
Moving on.
Yes.
Our primary discussion, although we've used most of our time.
How far into the show now?
Yeah. Pony Life has officially started airing. Not in the US yet. It's up on Treehouse. It is an official airing. It's not like a leak or anything like that. So we are just going to talk about it because we're tired of waiting.
Yeah.
Quick thing before I started, I was surprised at how many people were surprised that it was suddenly airing. I thought we had a fair amount of lead up. I mean, it's not as much as we've had for the main seasons and stuff, but at least a good, couple weeks of, hey, this is going to show up.
Yeah, it was kind of weird where it's just, it went for so long with no information other than it exists that all of a sudden we were getting tons of synopses and all of a sudden possible air dates and then not really an air date and then suddenly it's in...
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth.
And then suddenly it was being listed on Canada. So it's like, oh, I guess it's...
Yeah, but I remember after, a couple days after it aired, a whole bunch of people were like, wait, it's airing? It's out already?
I think a lot of people weren't paying attention because it wasn't, people kind of expect US first for the most part, even though that hasn't, well, in some cases it hasn't
been
happened.
Really for a while.
Well, yeah.
Couple of years now with the Treehouse stuff at least.
Season 9 actually largely aired in US first, although large chunks of it got leaked way early.
But I know Treehouse for a while has now been airing early.
Some of it. Again, Season 9, I believe, was not aired early in Treehouse.
Season 9 was just weird all around with the leaks and stuff. I guess it's just one of those I am constantly surprised by just how little people stay informed. I don't know if that's just maybe I'm more informed than the average.
Probably.
I don't know. I just get surprised by it. I don't know. It just goes to show I'm on Twitter too much and it's ruining my life.
Hell site.
Hell site, yep. Anyway, Pony Life is out. God, how much is out by now? What do we have?
4 episodes.
I don't even want to count those. 4 episodes?
Yeah.
Is it 4 episodes or not 4 episodes? Because sometimes we have 2 parters.
Well, so far, all 4 episodes have been
parters.
multi-parters. And it looks like some of them in the future will not be.
Yeah, the first 2 were two-parters, yes. But each 2-parter, each half was only half normal length, so that the 2-part was a normal 22-minute episode.
Yeah. Okay, so each single part was about 5 minutes long. And then the 2-parters were altogether 11 minutes long or so. And then we had the other 2-parter, which is also, so these are 11-minute long episodes. Kind of like a lot of cartoons have been moving towards for a while anyway. Like Steven Universe is 11 minutes long, I believe. Most of the Cartoon Network stuff is 11 minutes long anymore. And I guess they're following suit on this.
Yeah, there's some weird episode numbering weirdness already going on because we have 4 episodes, but some people list the first one, Princess Probs, as episodes 1 and 2.
That's episode 1 though.
Yeah, but some of our listing is 1 and 2 because it was a 2-parter.
Yeah, but it's looking like the format is going to be each episode is going to be 2 5.5-ish minute long episodes,
and they always air together. So why even consider them separate episodes? I don't know. So yeah, like I said, the first one is Princess Probs. Second episode is The Best of the Worst. Third is Cute-pocalypse. And fourth is How Applejack Won the War. Got her hat back. It is a thing. It is very different.
Very much so.
I guess try to do a quick synopsis. Princess Probs. I'm trying to even remember Princess Probs. It's been a while since
Pinky's entering that competition to get on that reality cooking show.
Yeah, she's entering a reality cooking show. Her friends try and help and don't help very well, and then they realize, we should help better, and then go and try and help her, but it's too late. But she figured it out anyway, and she succeeded at what she was doing. That. Best of the Worst. Dash is cool. Dash is awesome, and then some jerk challenges her to be not awesome, and she accepts the challenge, and then realizes that that's stupid. Cute-pocalypse.
Fluttershy meets a mean cat.
Meat cat.
Meat cat.
Meat cat.
Mean cat.
Meat cat. It's like Meat Boy, but a cat instead.
Why not?
Honestly, it would probably be a better episode. Yeah, Fluttershy makes friends with a cat who's a jerk. And we basically have a repeat of an old pony episode. And then How Applejack Got Her Hat Back.
Ooh, I know how to
Rarity.
do this. Applejack asked herself, "Who am I?"
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And then comes to the conclusion, "Oh, I'm me."
I'm me. Yeah. Okay, so I guess one by one, Princess Probs. How do we feel about Princess Probs? I was ambivalent about, like, talking about the storyline stuff. I think we'll talk about the individual aspects and then do a general overview of what we have so far afterwards. It was okay.
Right.
There was, I guess, like, it seemed like there was some familiarity with some other, like, G4 episodes in there. Twilight not quite knowing how properly to handle it. Yeah, it was all right. There was some weird things here and there, but overall it was all right.
I did not like the first episode at all. I feel it was too random and unfocused, and really kind of even at times a little baffling to watch. It felt very much gave me the same vibes I got from the old Friends Forever comic, the first one with Pinky and Applejack, and like my reaction was literally for both of those was get to the end and what the hell was that?
It definitely did feel kind of all over the place, which I guess Pinky's supposed to be.
I think
but no.
the problem was I feel not so much just Pinky. It was so much it was easy to lose track of what the hell was actually going on. Like what's the actual main plot, because they're trying to. This is the first episode. They're trying to introduce the new world, reintroduce the characters, tell a story, and set things up all in 11 minutes.
All in 11. Yeah,
and so because of that, it really suffers.
Yeah, way too much going on in the first episode, so it definitely suffers from that. I'm not a huge fan of the first episode. Like I said, I was ambivalent toward it. It's not great. It's not the worst.
Yeah, I felt I would feel of so far the 4 that have come out, I feel it's the worst one of the 4 that came out.
I think there's a challenger for it, personally, but it's definitely down there. Second one is Best of the Worst. That one was actually fairly enjoyable. It really was. It showcased Rainbow Dash, which I'm always a fan of. It starts to answer one of the big questions I think we all have with any new series that involve, the same characters, is, are they actually the same characters? My biggest question is Rainbow Dash the same Rainbow Dash? And in some ways, yes.
Yes, but also
but
no.
We can definitely say no. There are definitely some differences between the two. Yeah, this one was pretty good.
This one I felt was actually pretty kind of all right. Kind of enjoyable. All right. Not amazing, but definitely liked it a bit. I thought it was overall funnier. I think it worked better. It felt more cohesive.
Yes,
and that
it
helped
did definitely
a lot.
feel a bit more cohesive. Third one, Cute-pocalypse. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. It's basically Gilda the Brush Off, but with
the cat.
Pinky, well, not Pinky, with Fluttershy and a cat instead of Dash and Gilda.
What was the cat's name? Bubbles? Yeah, Bubbles.
Bubbles? I don't know. Cat was a jerk.
Yeah.
I think there may have been. I also was kind of recalling the Iron Will episode a bit because of Fluttershy being, but not quite
assertive.
So much. That one doesn't fit as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like not the greatest, not my favorite.
Yeah.
And this is the one I thought was a contender for lowest of the 4. I don't really know what else is specific about the story to say about this one.
Yeah, this one just for me was just, it exists, it's fine, I guess, but I kind of was like, I kind of somewhat mentally checked out partway through on it when I was watching it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. It's like, it's not, I wouldn't call it, I would think because it at least has a focus, it kind of helps it get further above for episode 1. But putting it
in comparison to the incohesiveness of episode 1, this one is at least cohesive in what it's doing.
Yeah, I feel this one is like, it doesn't. I think a lot of the jokes don't quite land, but it's not. It's below average, shall we say? Subpar-ish, but not horrible.
Subpar. The last one is How Applejack Got Her Hat Back, and it's probably
the best one?
Favorite so far. Yeah, it's probably my favorite. This one, I would say, with one exception, with one problem, is just straight up a good episode.
Yeah.
This one is really good.
Oh, yeah. I would largely consider this one actually good.
Yeah, this is a good episode. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, with one problem. The resolution is instantaneous off screen. It just, she's upset in one scene, it goes black, comes back, and she's figured everything out. It was an instantaneous, oh, I figured it out, I'm good now. And comes back into the sugar cube corner with her hat, and she's all good. It's pretty much the only real problem I can say with it. There's no, we don't see Applejack actually come to that conclusion, really. It's a little instantaneous for me.
I don't remember it going that way. Am I crazy? Could have sworn
because she was out on the
of...
bench with the three other ones and was talking with them, and she started to realize that, wait, this isn't quite right. And then all of a sudden she was all figured it out.
I swear there's an actual lead up, but maybe am I misremembering?
Not. There was the beginnings of a lead up, but not the rest of the lead up that it needed. But yeah, it was really the best one. Overall, for the entire thing of what we have so far, which is just these four, those other two are going to drop probably tomorrow as of recording. I don't know what to say. It's hard for me to make a judgment because it's like every other episode flips between liking and not liking so far.
Yeah.
We have a not great episode, then a pretty good episode, then a not great episode, then a pretty good episode. So I don't know if I want to say Pony Life is good yet, but I also can't say it isn't.
Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more time.
Yeah, one thing I will say that is also both a good and a bad thing, just like what we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
The show does have potential.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've fully executed on it yet.
Not yet, no.
But they can. And I want to see it. There are some things that I am worried about that I was worried about beforehand when seeing the first trailer, and it's still kind of there. It looks like things are like super hyperactive all the time. Not always. But sometimes it starts to hit that point, especially that first episode. So that's still kind of a thing that I'm cautious about.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone's hyperactive. But otherwise, I will say there's a lot of, even in the not great episodes, it has little gems here and there. Little jokes and faces and little things you go, okay, the rest of this doesn't make sense, and it's meh, but that was funny.
Yeah, some of it.
Other points where you just go,
what?
Like, they have to eat their way free. Oh, jeez.
Why?
That's someone's fetish. It's a thing. It is different, and that I think that's one thing to really keep in mind when going into this. It is not G4. Do not expect G4.
Do not expect
you
Friendship
will
is Magic.
Be disappointed. Yeah, do not expect Friendship is Magic. You will be disappointed. It is different. So clear your expectations. Come into it with a fresh, open mind and see where we go from there. If you don't like it, that's fine. This is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But don't just write it off because it's different or it's CalArts.
Anyone who actually unironically uses that criticism is full of crap.
Yeah, if I don't like it because CalArts, okay, you're out. You're done.
You don't know what you're talking about, or you do know what you're talking about, and that's actually probably worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this show so far. I can't really decide whether or not I was really kind of hoping to make a quick decision one way or the other pretty quick, but nope. But the thing about this episode, this show so far, it's very been much a mixed bag, and so it's hard to make a decision whether or not do I really want to keep watching this yet, or I don't know yet. And that's the thing about it. It's like, yeah, the first episode was pretty bad in my opinion. The second one was pretty decent. The third one was a little worse again, and then the fourth one was kind of good. And it's just weird. Yeah, a lot of the jokes are very hit and miss. Sometimes they hit, and sometimes it's like, that wasn't really that funny, I don't think. And it's weird. Some of it's just weird. Like, again, that weird thing with, we got to eat our way out. It's what? Why? What happened? I think the other thing is the potion thing is still like, it exists and it feels really just like we got to have the potion thing because that's our gimmick right now for the toys.
That's the gimmick, and it really does feel like on the potion one that's like, okay, yeah, that's their merchandise hook.
And it's just, yeah, it's weird because, like, also it's just like, oh, here's drink a potion. Why? I just drink it. Okay. There is no explanation or any. There's no reason to just drink the potion. Eat your hamburgers, Apollo.
I love that.
Of course, that's a totally different context, but anyway.
Oh yeah, totally different. Totally misused, but yeah.
It's just so weird, and I think that's the other thing that contributed to episode 1's problems is simply that potion thing. Is just they don't bother to explain it or anything because you think at least some explanation for the whole, at least for the series, right? You know, nope, it's just potions. Pinky has potions. Nope. Drink them. Don't ask where they came from. Don't ask about that. You know, don't ask about the fact that you feel the need to drink them some more only hours later. Just consume. Do not ask questions. Yeah, and the other thing is, also the one thing I did, I think so far one of my favorite jokes has actually been the title card for part 2 of how Applejack got her hat back.
That one's amazing.
That was just, I did not expect that. And all of a sudden, real horse. Okay, sure. Okay, so the people, that's the thing, some of the writers on this actually wrote for the Equestria Girls shorts as well, and whatnot. So that's going to be interesting to see that play out. Because, like, for example, I know the same person who wrote the first episode also wrote Sunset's Backstage Pass, which is like,
yep.
Sunset Backstage Pass was pretty good, and this wasn't. Is this just simply because it's literally a quarter of the length, and you have to do a whole lot more in that length time span?
It could be. It definitely could be.
Ugh.
You know, there's another thing that I'm trying not to think about, but it does keep pressing into my mind about, you know, the jokes that we don't think are funny.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we're just too old.
Oh yeah, that's kind of that's one of those things that pops in my head and then go away.
I don't
Thought.
Think about that.
No, be gone.
Be gone, thought.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Some of it just feels like weird. That the setup and I don't know, feels like that's weird. Just setup and execution doesn't work. I feel it's like okay. Sometimes, like, I think the weird thing was like, okay, it's just weird. You know, the hipsters doing weird stuff just because it's uncool. Like, let's just put hats in our butts. Like, I guess
some of that scene was good. Some of that was kind of weird.
This cube thing. What is
Applejack in the different hats.
Yep. Yeah, I did know sometimes the animation was off.
Yeah.
Particularly there's one bit in the first episode where, like, most of the main 6 are bursting into the room to stop Pinky, and, like, they kind of just slide in in a weird way that looks like someone just, you know, click drag rather than
just a simple tween or something.
Yeah, it's like, it just literally, like, the puppet wasn't used at all. That there was no movement other than just slide the character in, and it looked really awkward and bad. The other thing, Celestia was in the first episode. That was interesting.
Yeah, Celestia was the one in charge of the cooking contest.
Yep. She was one of the judges, which, okay, sure, celebrity judge, I guess.
Celebrity judge. Also, she knows her cakes.
Yeah. Of all the people. Of all the ponies. Oh. The other thing, Spike showed up, but he's no longer voiced by Kathy Westluck because she doesn't want to do it.
Kathy Westluck voluntarily, she didn't want to continue on. She has a video up that I'm sure everyone's seen by now.
Yeah, so instead it's Tabitha St. Germain, who did a decent impression.
Yeah, did a decent impression. I didn't really notice, though I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, if I wasn't told it wasn't Kathy Westluck, I probably wouldn't have known.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Tabitha St. Germain, once again, does an amazing job with Rarity.
Yep. Here, cause full of everything, you have nothing to wear. No, I've never been there, Rarity. What the heck's that like? Yeah, there's also one of the who was it? Art director, Alex Vetter. She went on Twitter and did some Q&A just to talk about some of the stuff because, like, I'm confirming one thing, which is this is not the same continuity as Friendship is Magic and stuff like that. Like Applejack's, like, for example, they changed up Applejack. She's gonna do fourth wall breaking type jokes.
Yep, I mean, right in the first episode we did that when Rarity's freaking out and Applejack looks at the camera. Did you miss this? I missed this.
Yep.
It's like
not subtle at all there. Yeah, that's going to be an Applejack thing, is breaking the fourth wall, which honestly kind of works.
It
I think
worked.
Her demeanor works for it because she can just kind of be the one who with this side of the audience, like, look at can you see what I'm dealing with here?
Yep. I love that.
I think it works better than
as long as
having
I've done too much.
Well, a lot the fandom does, which is let's have Pinky break the fourth wall in weird, crazy ways. Ha ha.
Yeah, because I think the difference is when Pinky does it, it's just completely random and just crazy, like you said.
Again, particularly because the fandom insists on it, not so much the show.
Yeah, but AJ is the more grounded, down to earth, so she doesn't do it randomly and just completely crazy. It's more mellow, and when it's simple, subtle, direct to the point, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Also, our director's last name is.
The other thing, what was it? The second episode, what was this? Dishwater or something?
Oh, yeah. I won't say one of the fandom names I've seen come up with
no.
that one. It was like Dishwater Slog or something.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, yeah, his whole thing is like, I'm the worst. Sure are.
Yeah, but you're the best at being the worst, so you're not the worst
at
everything.
Yeah, and Dash is just like, I can beat you, and it's like, and I do like the realization, this is stupid. Why are we doing this?
Stupid.
Why even bother? Who cares? I'm awesome.
Yep. I so far I do like Dash's personality in this one. It's close enough to the original. But there are some differences, but I think they work pretty well.
I mean, Twilight hasn't done much yet, honestly.
Twilight hasn't done much yet.
Yeah, it's weird for me. Fluttershy is weird because she can shrink and grow and stuff. And
that's a weird one. It's like someone really liked that one Power Ponies episode with Flutter Hulk.
Is it a potion thing? I'm guessing it's a potion thing.
She does it randomly, though.
She did it. The first time she did it was after drinking a potion. So I think it's like, okay, is this just permanently on, I guess? Did she?
I guess.
Whatever, it's new continuity. Also, that tiny one, the tiny horse, the tiny pony from the second episode.
Oh,
so tiny.
Oh, jeez. Oh, apparently a lot of people really hate that character. I don't know why, but apparently
he's just a weird little Dash fan. What's wrong with him?
I think
he was kind of funny, actually.
I think it's a lot. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was a bunch of like 4chaners who really didn't like him. But it wouldn't surprise me.
Of course.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. It's an odd show so far.
It is. It's hard to really give it a good
yay or nay.
Yeah.
Nay. Exactly. It's difficult because of so far we've gotten such inconsistent quality so far, and it's like I think we might have to actually go through the full season before we really have a good idea of where it's gonna be, and like whether or not do we want another season of this or not.
That might be how it's gonna be, because it's not like the first 4 episodes were just crap and I can't continue with this. It's like you showed us some stuff that wasn't so great, but you also showed us that you can do something pretty good with it. So
yeah, because it also might be just it's the early episodes that they're still getting their bearings.
Because that's always a thing.
Yeah,
always a thing. The first episodes of the first season of something new, it takes a while for everyone to get a handle of what they're doing and really work things out.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see how that works out in the future. One thing I did notice was funny, I think kind of weird, was the people after the first episode ended and the people were streaming it, some of them were like, I'm never streaming this again. I hate it. Yep. Like, wow.
This is quite divisive already, as expected.
Yeah, people just genuinely
we knew this was going to be divisive, but some people do really hate it. I'm wondering how many of those people are already primed to hate it simply because, again, it's not Friendship is Magic.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I want to see the Venn diagram of people who are always going to hate this because it wasn't Friendship is Magic and would have hated it if it was exactly like Friendship is Magic anyway.
Hey, look, it's
probably
a
similar
circle.
Venn diagram. It's almost like the Star Wars fandom. But yeah.
I've seen other people say they love the first episode. I'm like, I don't understand how you love the first episode. Like, I get the second and even the fourth episode, and to a degree, I can understand maybe even the third episode, but the first one, I don't understand. Okay, sure, I guess.
To each their own. But yeah,
man, if I stopped after the first episode, I would have missed out on stuff though. That's for sure.
3-episode rule.
Yeah. Oh, I took us a while to get there. But yeah, it's, at this point, I'm going to have to just keep watching and see how it shakes out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm a little bit more, compared to some people online, I think I'm a little bit more positive towards it as well. But like I said, it's also a potential thing. I see potential.
Yeah.
And I weigh potential heavier than other people do.
Yeah, I've seen the potential as well. It's just, I just want to see if they live up to it at all. Because there comes a point where it's like, okay, I don't care how much potential you have, you're not really utilizing it, so I'm out, you know?
Yep. I think I give more grace when there's potential than other people do.
But I would give grace to a while too, but after one point, there comes a point it's like, okay, I've given you enough grace and you still aren't doing it very well, so out. We'll see. I think that's my thing. Was I'm going to go at least to the end of the season, and at that point I'll have to make a decision one way or the other, however I want to continue watching this. If it shows up, goes further than a single season. I don't know.
If it gets more, because who knows? Maybe G5 will come out.
G5, remember, that's still slated for, at this point, fall of 2021. It might be pushed back. We don't know yet because the world.
Things have happened. The world is happening. So yeah, Pony Life. We don't know yet. We'll have to keep watching.
Yep.
So I guess that's enough of Pony Life.
For now.
We are already over time, but I guess we can quickly try and run through fan content. We do have some of that to talk about.
Yep.
I will start off with music. And to start off with Spiral Harmonies, Midnight Frenzy.
As the sunlight leaves in darkness, brings along a starry sky, you will dive into your dreams. Laying down, you close your eyes. But there are so many wonders missing out that can't be right. Here we go, come on and join us. Party on until sunrise. Hey, go where you are. Let you sleep and party all night. Hey, yo, where you are. Let's go dance together while the moon is bright.
That name and the song may sound familiar because it is not entirely new. This is an old song that has been completely remade. The original was used as part of duo cartoonist project that was cancelled called Choices. You may remember that one. Yes, they said they completely remade it and redid the vocals, and I really loved this song. I liked it back then. I really like it now. The vocal work is excellent. The orchestral work is excellent. There's a certain flow and feel, especially in that chorus. I really, really like the feel and flow of the chorus on this song. And it's just a fun song. It's Luna having fun at night when she's not supposed to.
Yeah, it's light, a bit bouncy. It's a very happy song, and yeah, it's got nice vocals.
Moving on to my second song to feature is Sawtooth Waves to the Skies.
I hear the world looks so much better from above. Wish I could spend time looking down instead of looking up. Ruffles my feathers when I see some pony fly. They don't know how lucky they are that they can take to the skies.
This is an uplifting song about Scootaloo and her flight abilities, or lack thereof. I really like the song. I mean, it's a Scootaloo song, and it's mostly happy, so of course I like it. But there's something about like the lead synth sound and riff that just sticks in my head. It's really cool. It's got this weird mellow but also bouncy combination to it. It's not super bouncy. It's got that core of mellowness to it, but it's not like super slow either. I really like it.
Yeah, I like some of the synth work. Yeah, it's very driving bouncy and whatnot.
Vocal work is pretty good too.
Yep.
Chi-Chi on vocals.
Yep, Chi-Chi.
And the Midnight Frenzy was Emily Koch? I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Yep.
So that is the music. Fanfics.
Fanfiction. I got a couple things updated. Odyssey of a Thief got a new chapter. Let's see. Twilight's still trying to get a cure for Hadkuna, aka Rarity, the dragon.
Rarity Dragon.
It's still trying to get a cure. Found a couple, I guess a group who, they're there. Also meets 2 dumb unicorns.
Yep. I was waiting for that one.
So, yeah. That's a thing.
Basically, it's the spring.
Yep, spring.
It's a healing
A
spring.
healing spring for, I guess, a dragon. They weren't expecting her to bring that dragon.
Wait, that one?
Yeah. So that's the thing. The other thing that updated the Tangents Library Side Stories got a new chapter about, I guess, Luna and Pinky during a bit of the Enchanted Kingdom nonsense where,
Oh, yeah.
or Pinky just basically shows Luna that she loves her.
Aww.
Because Luna really needed that.
Yep. Luna really needed that.
And I got a fanfic, a new one.
A new one.
Yep, feature. It's called Fear and Loving and Lost Pegasus by MagnetBolt. It's, well, about Apple Bloom and Diamond Tiara. And in this, Diamond Tiara's family is trying to marry her off to into the Apple family so they can get the Apple family money. And kind of the same thing's happening on the Apple family side. They're trying to marry Apple Bloom and the rich family because they have money and they're all broke. And Apple Bloom and Diamond Tiara have been told not to reveal this particular information to each other. And they don't want to even get married in the first place. So, yeah, it's an adventure that goes from there.
Yep.
I liked it. It was very funny at times. Even though it doesn't have a comedy tag, it's also got a lot of funny bits in it, which is weird to me.
It does have little bits of comedy in there.
Maybe they ran out of tags.
There was a lot of tags on that.
It's a fun one. It's just, Diamond Tiara and Apple Bloom kind of trying to struggling with, well, their position right now. And, they don't want this, but they're kind of hanging around each other and they're not so bad, are they? That sort of thing.
Not as bad as I thought.
That sort of thing.
You used to be, though. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
It was fun.
Not what I expected.
Nope.
Not what I expected. But still pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, go check it out. It's about, a little over 13,000 words, one shot. It's a good one.
Yep.
Apparently, the author was was sitting on this one for a while. There you go.
No, I'm glad they released it.
Apparently, I started around season 4 since Starlight hadn't been introduced yet. Oh dear.
Oh.
That is a while ago.
So yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the episode. Hope you like what you heard. If you did, you can find all of our episodes, past, future, present, at pony411.libsyn.com. Remember that's spelled Libsyn. Go there, check it out. You can also find us in various other places, such as iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and such. Just go to those and search for Pony411. On Google Play, it's play.google.com/music. Or you can go to Google Podcasts, because apparently Google Play is going to be going away.
Yep.
But it is over on the Google Podcast service as well, so you can check us out there. Just search for Pony411 and you will find us. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/pony411. Go like our videos there, comment on them, let us know what you think, and make sure to subscribe to us and click that bell to get notified when new videos go up. You can also find us on Ponyville Live. We're up there with all the rest of all the other shows that they have. And we also air on Ponyville FM every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, so tune in then. Or tune in whenever you want, because it's a great place to find fandom music and live DJs, so check them out. If you would like to get a hold of us, to contact us, you can email us. We are pony411podcast@gmail.com. Send us comments, criticisms, suggestions. Tell us what you thought about this episode. Tell us what you thought about Pony Life. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you like changed? What are you expecting? What do you hope for? Whatever. If you just want to say hi, that's also a great place. If you have something you want us to talk about, send it to us there. We will take a look. No guarantees we will talk about it, but we will take a look. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/pony411. Go like our page there. We'll post updates when they happen. And you can also find us on Twitter. We are at pony411. Follow us there. See us tweet random stuff. Also, since when we're on monthly, we'll sometimes post news that are pertinent and time sensitive. So it's a good thing to follow us there when we post things before we have a chance to talk about them here. You can also find our personal Twitter accounts. I am at Alca7raz with a 7 instead of a T and an underscore at the end. And they are at Nemesis Prime 1. So follow us there. See us tweet when we happen to tweet. I don't tweet almost ever. But I do watch. So if you were to DM me, I will see it.
I got a Sailor Mars figure recently.
You did?
Sailor Mars is great. Sailor Mars is the best Sailor Senshi.
The only one that really comes in competition is probably Jupiter, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. But I will literally fight you over this.
Also, there's Uranus.
Oh, by the way, I just added the Google Podcast link to the Pony 4-in-1 page. It's there now.
Yay! It's there now. Awesome.
So yeah, I can just click that or click. I'm not sure how long the Google Play one will stay there. I'm just gonna leave it there for now until it's.
Leave it there until it breaks.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep, there's a whole bunch of links that you can find on our Libsyn page, so check us out there. So that's the end. That's the end of all of our contact stuff and end of the episode. If you liked what you heard, I hope you did. You can tune in next time when we'll talk about whatever happens between
Probably
now and
Pony
next
Life
month.
again.
Probably more Pony Life. Yeah, probably more Pony Life. So make sure to tune in then. But until next time, remember, please, pony responsibly. See ya.
Bye.